well-founded, that it's Taylor Swift, her BFF, at the Reynolds penthouse in Manhattan, where Ryan Reynolds allegedly bullied Justin so badly that a Sony representative who was there, the production team behind the movie, and her biggest takeaway was, I am very sorry that I let him get away with doing that to Justin. It was so nasty.
What happens when one of Hollywood's most charming actresses, a burgeoning director, and the queen of pop music find themselves embroiled in a $400 million legal battle? The answer is a whirlwind of accusations, private group chats, and behind-the-scenes power plays that have left the entertainment world in shock. At the crux of this drama is It Ends With Us, a movie adaptation that promised cinematic grandeur, but instead delivered anarchy both on and off the set. Blake Lively, famous for her elegance and sharp sarcasm, reportedly argued with filmmaker Justin Baldoni over creative control. But this wasn't just a regular Hollywood feud. It evolved into a struggle of influence, with Lively gathering her closest allies, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her close friend Taylor Swift, to back her up.
Now you see text messages in this lawsuit from Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, the fiercest female character we've seen in years.
And here's where things take a surprise turn. Taylor Swift, who is continually setting records and garnering legions of loyal followers, is now under examination for being potentially implicated in a secret plot to bring down Baldoni. What started as a simple misunderstanding has evolved into a maelstrom of private talks, charges of defamation, and media firestorms that are threatening to swallow everyone involved. This isn't just any legal case. It's a complicated web of twists and turns that feels more like the storyline of a blockbuster film than real life. But how did Taylor Swift, a pop icon who has long dominated the charts, land up in the heart of one of Hollywood's most shocking scandals? How did she shift from being adored by millions to being classified as one of the industry's most startling antagonists? And perhaps most intriguingly, how is she handling the huge public outrage and pressure that's been developing since the charges first surfaced? It's reasonable to say this is a scandal that shows no signs of disappearing anytime soon. Stick around, because this narrative is just getting started, and you won't want to miss what follows next.
Blake Lively says in a text message that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
But it's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin.
It all started with It Ends With Us, the much-anticipated movie adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. On paper, the program seemed like a recipe for success. Blake Lively, recognized for her on-screen appeal, was scheduled to star, while Justin Baldoni, celebrated for his work in Jane the Virgin, took on the twin roles of director and producer. But what unfolded behind the scenes turned out to be far from friendly. Reports of tension began to occur early in development. According to insiders, Lively wasn't content with simply acting in the project. She wanted more creative control. This led to frequent disputes with Baldoni, who tried to keep his influence on set. What started as business concerns rapidly developed into a high-stakes power struggle, with Lively apparently turning on her closest allies, her husband Ryan Reynolds and pop phenomenon Taylor Swift, for support. Court records reveal that in private chats, Lively referred to her tight group as her dragons, powerful folks she could rely on to preserve her interests. While the name may sound amusing, its meanings were substantially more serious. Baldoni argues that Lively and her so-called dragons worked behind the scenes to undermine his creative control over the production. And then there's Taylor Swift, whose name in this case sent shockwaves through the entertainment business. Known for her meticulously manicured public image and ability to translate personal anguish into chart-topping anthems, Swift's apparent involvement added an unexpected layer of intrigue to the already delicate situation. But what specifically did Taylor do, and how deep does her part go? Baldoni's remarks show something much more calculated than casual support for a buddy. As the specifics of the case arose, so did suspicions about the scale of her authority. and whether Hollywood's sweetheart had unwittingly walked into a far darker narrative. Taylor Swift's name surfacing in a lawsuit valued at $400 million wasn't something anyone anticipated coming. For years, she's been known as a master of her trade, harnessing personal experiences to make global successes. But now, instead of composing lyrics about grief and strength, she's been lured into what feels more like a courtroom thriller than a pop anthem. The incident revolved upon private group chats found in court files, where Swift allegedly participated in discussions with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. These interactions, according to Justin Baldoni, were part of a deliberate strategy to undermine his authority as director and producer. Baldoni depicts a portrait of Swift as more than merely a passive observer. He thinks she was an active actor, leveraging her influence to alter choices behind the scenes. The epithet "dragons," used by Lively to denote her inner group, has taken on a sinister tone in these chats. Swift is claimed to have supported Lively's demand for creative autonomy. But Baldoni goes even farther, accusing her of assisting to a broader conspiracy to destroy his name. While the particular contents of these group chats remain hidden, their very existence has inspired unlimited speculation. For Swift, the stakes are extremely high. Her brand is built on themes of empowerment, independence, and rising above the drama. Now, she's being accused of being part of a Hollywood power play, a job that appears entirely at odds with her public persona. Was she just offering a helpful hand to a friend? Or does this lawsuit show a side of her the public has never seen? As the details unravel, the world is left wondering, how did one of the music industry's most beloved persons become embroiled in such a scandal? And if Baldoni's claims have any weight, what does this signify for Taylor Swift's carefully managed legacy?
He's used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, but, he's used it, on Deadpool and to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Justin Baldoni's allegation is nothing short of explosive. At the basis of his $400 million claim are charges that go far beyond mere creative disputes. Baldoni says that Blake Lively, along with her so-called dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, staged a premeditated attempt to undermine his authority on the set of It Ends With Us. According to court records, this wasn't only about conflicts over creative direction. It grew extremely personal. Baldoni believes that Lively and her close-knit network went to tremendous measures to disparage him, engaging in everything from passive-aggressive messaging to direct threats. The lawsuit portrays a picture of a deliberate campaign to damage Baldoni's reputation, with damaging stories being pushed across Hollywood circles, all aimed at pushing him into abandoning control. The most jaw-dropping portion of these claims is private group talks, in which Taylor Swift allegedly participated, having a role in influencing Baldoni's professional actions. Although the particular contents of these texts remain secret, their existence alone has stirred up a media frenzy, leading many to speculate about Swift's behind-the-scenes involvement. Baldoni presents Swift as a hidden power player, utilizing her substantial influence to mold public perception and enhance Lively's position, all while keeping a public impression of being uninvolved. The defamation claims are just as concerning. Baldoni argues that Lively's team engaged in a purposeful campaign to ruin his professional reputation, presenting their activities as part of a premeditated effort to steal creative authority away from him. This was not merely a power struggle. It was a deliberate effort, aimed to slowly erode his credibility and authority on set. As Baldoni continues to push forward with his case, the stakes only get higher. For Taylor Swift, this case represents an unprecedented challenge. Whether she was an active player or merely a casualty of the developing drama, her role in this case might potentially drag her into a legal and public relations nightmare. As the case gains steam, the media attention intensifies, and Swift's name, usually linked with chart-topping tunes and sold-out concerts, has now become synonymous with a high-profile legal struggle. The tale surrounding this lawsuit continues to unravel, and with each new news, the drama intensifies. One thing is clear: this court conflict is unlike anything Hollywood has seen in years. However, as with all celebrity scandals, the fundamental question remains: how much of this is anchored in truth, and how much is simply another case of rumor and innuendo running wild in the tabloids?
Reynolds allegedly bullied Justin so badly that a Sony representative who was there, the production team behind the movie, and her biggest takeaway was, I am very sorry that I let him get away with doing that to Justin. It was so nasty.
Taylor Swift has met obstacles before. Her public conflict with Kanye West, her battle for ownership of her music catalog. But this case presents a difficulty of an entirely other type. Unlike earlier arguments, where Swift controlled the narrative, through songs or carefully stated words, this time, the plot felt out of her hands. Justin Baldoni's charges have plunged Swift into unfamiliar territory, the tumultuous realm of Hollywood legal fights where private texts and power plays threaten to overshadow her flawlessly manicured public image. Her reputation, established on concepts of empowerment and authenticity, now meets criticism in ways it never has before. For someone who has mastered the skill of turning personal tragedy into anthems of persistence, this moment is exceptionally dangerous. Swift's extraordinary silence has been particularly striking. Known for facing issues head-on, whether through cryptic songs or public statements, she's opted for a quiet approach this time, leaving fans and detractors alike speculating about her next move. Some think her calm is a sign of wisdom, a deliberate effort to let the storm pass without adding fuel to the fire. Others see it as a misstep, questioning whether her slowness to come out signals guilt or indecision. Meanwhile, whispers of future, subpoenas lurk in the background, threatening to expose private group meetings and add even more layers of scrutiny to an already contentious scenario. For Swift, the stakes couldn't be greater. Her image as a symbol of freedom and empowerment risks being obscured by claims of manipulation and behind-the-scenes influence. Even if her contribution was limited or misconstrued, the perception alone could have enduring effects. Yet history has showed that Swift has a remarkable propensity to transform setbacks into opportunities. From reclaiming her narrative during the Reputation era to becoming a renowned advocate for artist rights, she's continuously proven her resilience. But this time, the narrative isn't wholly hers to manufacture. The world is watching to see how she navigates this unexpected chapter in her career and whether she'll emerge uninjured or with fresh lessons learned.
With Kevin Feige and all the Marvel people, and Sean and I were going to tell them that we're going to punt for a year or two and come back to this later when we all have like a clearer head and stuff. So on that Zoom with those guys, we just pivoted and literally made up out of thin air the story of Deadpool and Wolverine, which is actually what we ended up. Sometimes when you're just so full of and you go with it, you end up actually kind of hitting the bullseye.
As the case continues to grow, one thing is clear. This isn't just another Hollywood controversy. It's a story rich with ambition, influence, and the unexpected confluence of music and film. For Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Taylor Swift's carefully manicured reputation emerge intact? Or will her court struggle unveil a side of her the public has never seen? Is Blake Lively a creative visionary striving for her voice, or a Hollywood juggernaut eager to smash? Boundaries to get her way? And for Justin Baldoni, does this lawsuit reflect a firm stand for his professional ethics, or is it an overreach in a stormy dispute? The truth, as it typically does, undoubtedly rests somewhere in between. But one thing is certain, the drama has captured the public, delivering a tale as riveting as the movie that inspired it. Whether this episode becomes a trivial footnote in Hollywood history or a defining moment for its key participants remains to be seen. And as we wait for the next twist in this saga, we want to hear from you. Do you think Taylor Swift's involvement was planned or blown out of proportion? Is this merely another case of Hollywood egos colliding, or something far more calculated? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the drama that keeps Hollywood buzzing. The CI performance might be ended for now, but if history has taught us anything, it's that there's always another act waiting to begin. Stay tuned, because in Hollywood, the drama never actually stops. All right, show's over. Hungry for more twists? You know where to find us. Keep that popcorn hot, we'll handle the drama. Want to catch the next showdown in real time? Hit subscribe and buckle up.